Things you will learn when doing mathematics. The squeeze theorem.
As you're doing calculus, eventually you will need to be able to differentiate sine of x. So you need to be able to figure this out. In order for you to differentiate sine of x, you need to understand this. You need to be able to accept this. The limit of sine of x over x. So the graph looks like this. So we know that on 0 it breaks down, because you can't divide by 0. But this graph here, you can see that it approaches 1 from the right hand side, and if you approach 0 from the left hand side, it's also 1. So the limit is 1. But in order to prove this, you need to understand the squeeze theorem. So the squeeze theorem states that if you have a function, any function, I don't care, that's always trapped. Let's call this function f of x. If you have a function f of x, that's always trapped in between g of x and h of x, then if g of x has a limit of capital L, and h of x also has a limit of capital L, the function f of x, because it's always trapped in between the two, it will have no choice but to have the same limit as the other two. So that's what this is saying. If f is always trapped in between g of x and h of x, and h of x has a limit of L, g of x has a limit of L, then the limit of f must also be L. So for example, if you have a function that's always trapped in between the other two functions, so no matter however you draw your function, it will always have the same limits because it's being funneled in through this one point here, capital L. So f being trapped in between the other two functions will have no choice but to have the same limit as the other two functions. Okay? That's what the squeeze theorem is saying.